Reuters exclusive satellite images revealing the location of a previously unknown Iranian nuclear site. Now, the facility spans nearly 2,500 acres, and this is a big discovery. Jillian Turner has more from the State Department. Good morning, Jillian.
Pretty explosive, Dana. These satellite images that we have obtained exclusively show the alleged site location and even the layout of the secret, previously unknown nuclear weapons facilities inside Iran. This, of course, raises fresh concerns about the regime's role in these ongoing nuclear talks with the Trump administration. The National Council of Resistance of Iran has collected intelligence from sources on the ground inside Iran that locate this nuclear weapons facility in what is called Semnan province, far from the regime's already known nuclear sites. It's codenamed the Rainbow Site by Iran's officials, and it spans nearly 2,500 acres.
Now, I don't like talking about war. I don't know about you. I really don't be wanting to hear nothing about war between Israel and Iran, because it could lead to World War III. And my brain don't really want to think about being disintegrated in a pulse of fire from a nuclear bomb. I know you feel the same way, because nobody wants to sit there and think about dying. So you kind of block this thing out, right? You're like, yeah, they got a war, but I don't want to think about it. But we're going to have to talk about this, man. Let's start with this. Iran is being occupied by the Ayatollahs and their families, and them people is crazy. Because back when I was a kid, Iran was quite all right. It looked a little bit like this. And as you can see, back in those days in Iran, the girls went around with their heads uncovered, beautiful women walking down the street, escorting the little girls to school. They was going to what kind of looked like a Catholic school, but I seriously doubt if that's what that was. But nonetheless, Iran was okay. And then the CIA came in and did a regime change. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. Right now, that's what's happening to them again. Yeah, all the news about this person bombing this person bombing this. Let me ask you a question. If somebody was to take out the entire military structure, I mean, all the chief generals of the United States of America, right? Would that not be a damn regime change? Because that's what's going on. I say it would be.
The Iranians are about to get their asses kicked, and it's been coming since Jimmy Carter. They've slaughtered Americans. They've slaughtered Arabs. They've slaughtered their own people. They think this is Joe Biden's administration, that they would get away with getting nuclear weapons, and then the world would sit there, wouldn't know what to do about it. You talk about ballistic missiles. Israel sees thousands of ballistic missiles. It can't defend against 10,000 ballistic missiles. And it's not going to sit there and take it. This Iranian regime is a terrorist Islamist regime. It's an illegitimate regime. It came to power through the point of a gun, and it expects to stay in power with nuclear weapons. Thank God we have Donald Trump as president of the United States. Thank God Israel has Benjamin Netanyahu as the prime minister. And I will say this. If this Islamic terrorist regime touches one hair on the head of an American citizen, they're going to wish they hadn't.
And I'm sure you will agree that with all this yibba-yabbing going on, like, I'm still not feeling it. I understand what the problem is. I'm pretty sure you understand what the problem is. But I'm not feeling that. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling like I need to die for Iran. It's going down no matter how we feel about it. Now, I'm going to tell you what I do like about Donald, and I'm going to tell you what I don't like about what I just saw. Let's start what I like about Donald and what you should like. They asked Donald about this, and he came out and he talked just like somebody whose daddy would talk when there's some kids fighting.
Can you give us a sense of what you're doing to try to de-escalate the situation between Iran and Israel?
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal.
See what I mean? I like the fact that while all these war hawks is like, yeah, we need to go to war. 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 He like, yeah, Yeah, there might be a chance for there to be a deal. I want to see if we can make a deal. Maybe we could let him fight it out. I like that, ladies and gentlemen, because it lets me know that he ain't just running off and going into war. Lindsey Graham want to go to war. Even the people over at Fox News, they brought on Benjamin Netanyahu, right? Imagine for a moment. So Benjamin Netanyahu goes and bombs Iran, right? Cool. All right. Whatever. And then they bring him over on the Fox News. This is why I say it's regime change. Then they bring him over on Fox News and he lays a case out for why America should support it. Donald can't lay out no case to James Williams, to none of y'all, why we need to be bombing Iran. I'm just going to keep it real with you. He can't lay out no case because we say we don't want no wars, right? So he couldn't come and say it himself, but here come Benjamin Netanyahu, and he starts to say things, and these are some of the things that Benjamin Netanyahu had to say.
But to the people of Iran, I say you're great people. You're people of great talent and genius. You have been usurped by this tyranny that has robbed you of hope, has robbed you of a good life. You know, I speak to the Iranian people directly. I don't know if you know this, Brett. I do these videos. I get millions and millions of responses. And they say, Viva Israel, bravo Israel, free us from this tyranny. And I say to them, your hour of freedom is near. Rise up, be free.
That sound like some regime change to me. Don't it sound like a little bit of regime change being sprinkled in there? And let's just keep it real. I mean, maybe we really do need to make sure there's a regime change. I know that in Iran, it's one of the fastest growing Christian nations, has one of the fastest growing Christian populations in the Middle East. And so maybe we do need regime change. I'm not going to disagree with the fact that we need regime change. But I have a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. James Williams at the back of the class won't raise his hand. I got a question. Let's talk about nuclear bombs and bases. I'm scratching my head because I feel like that these people don't understand that if you blow up a nuclear site, that there is radioactive fallout and that you're going to pollute the area for a long time. I feel like they don't get this because they just run around. We must stop Iran's nukes and their nukes and this. Does that not make no sense to you?
Of course, with some breaking news that has just come in, where the Iranian state media has said that there have been 2 explosions that have hit areas that are close to Iran's underground Fordo nuclear facility. The sound of explosions has been heard from the area of Fordo site, and 2 points on the ground in the Fordo area reportedly were targeted. The Fordo nuclear site is located several hundred meters underground. The Israeli military says that its air force continues to bomb missile launchers and also unmanned aerial vehicle launch infrastructure in Iran.
See, that's the problem I got with all this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's just say we do regime change and we take out all their nuclear research facilities and now we got nuclear isotopes in the ground, or we going to have to compensate these people for this? See, this is why I feel like the American people should always be in on some of the decisions. I know you can't make all the decisions, but we can't just be running around doing things because now we're going to have nuclear contamination in that area. So what we fighting over? What we fighting over? An area, a no-go zone? And these are the things that's not laid out to us in the news. Then Netanyahu came back, and then Netanyahu said something that really disturbed me, because I feel like if you saying that you down with America, why you wait till now to tell us that Iran tried to assassinate Donald Trump 2 times? I felt like you was trying to sell me on something. Like, yeah, I want the American people to know that Iran tried to assassinate Donald Trump twice. I feel like you trying to sell me some chocolate at the front doorstep right now.
I want to talk about the nuclear threat, and I want to talk about President Trump. You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number 1. He's a decisive leader. He never took the path that others took to try to bargain with him in a way that is weak, giving them basically a pathway to enrich uranium, which means a pathway to the bomb, padding it with billions and billions of dollars. He took up this fake agreement and basically tore it up. He killed Qasem Soleimani. He made it very clear, including now, you cannot have a nuclear weapon, which means you cannot enrich. He's been very forceful. So for them, he's He's enemy number one.
Yeah.
Look, they also tried to kill me, but I'm his junior partner.
When did
they
you
understand that President Trump is a great threat to Iran's plans to weaponize nuclear weapons and use them.
When did you tell President Trump you were going to launch these strikes?
Look, I've been in constant contact with President Trump. We've known each other for many years. And obviously, we informed our American friends and President Trump, our great friend, ahead of time. We did. He knew about it, of course.
I mean, there were reports that President Trump kind of helped you achieve your strategic surprise by publicly urging you not to attack when he already knew you had decided to do it. So you were closely coordinating with the U.S. throughout this process. And
while I'm at it, Brett Bear, I don't appreciate that dry snitching you just did. Now, let's say that is the case. Why you going to dry snitch on national TV like that, Brett Bear? I ain't never liked you in the first place when you did that interview with Donald when you was acting a damn fool. See, this is the problem I got with this whole war thing. When we dealing with the riots and all that, it's kind of plain and simple. See, when we get to this war and that real money come in, and then you get the spiritual aspects coming in, where it's like the king of Prince of Persia against Israel and the God of Israel, and it's these spirits involved, and then you got these men involved that's like CIA, and they want to make sure they get their money because the military industrial complex needs to war because they want to sell some bombs. It gets really damn complicated. But all I'm saying to you is this, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to stop. All I'm saying is, if y'all going to kill me, if y'all going to blow up everything, then I need to know why I'm getting hit with a nuclear explosion. I just need to know why. Don't just be running around out here in these streets doing random stuff, not saying nothing. I need to know why I'm blowing up. If not, I'm going to be pissed if I survive. I'm about to be pissed off to the highest point of pissivity if I survive, because none of the stuff y'all laying out right now make no sense. Because they've been saying, Israel been saying since I was 14 years old, Iran is going to have a nuclear weapon. Ever since they did the regime change, Iran is having a nuclear weapon. Iran, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 2 days, and then don't make no damn sense. Don't make no sense. Donald was just saying a couple of days ago, he said, Iran, we're going to come to the table. We're going to have a deal. He gave him 30 days. On 31st day, these people bombed them. Then Donald comes back and he says, well, sometimes you got to let them fight it out. Then they come back and they like, well, we don't have bunker buster bombs. And Donald don't say nothing. Seems like they got some miscommunications going on, and I want to know what the real deal is. So I commit to you, ladies and gentlemen, then I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to keep on watching. Now, if you like this video, and you just so happen to be one of those people that like, conservative corporate media, and you sitting there saying, well, man, this is refreshing. Yeah, it's going to be real refreshing. Hit the like button and subscribe. It's going to keep on being refreshing because these are the gaps that's being filled in. This is the stuff that they don't say. Like if I'm sitting on there with them, I'll be like, this don't make no damn sense. So why right now? And what you going to tell us about this? Why is this happening? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you feel so led, hit the share button. But I'll be back soon to talk to you some more. I got some other things I need to communicate to you. Hopefully you're sitting on your sofa. Next time, get you some popcorn.